What's up, mobile gamers? It's Johnsrick Gigs, and I am super excited today for this video. I love recording guides for you guys, and we've got another one here. We've been going in order for our guides, so if you didn't see the last one was Gloria. Took a while to record, but she's pretty simple, and Iris is the next one that we're doing today. So Iris is pretty simple too, but she is also very good, and we are going to show you guys all her tips and tricks and counters and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of gonna show you guys the progress of, what happened when I got Iris. So for those of you that have been watching my channel the whole time, I pretty much started recording around season 4 for YouTube, and I've been playing since day 1. So I actually was an Iris main when I got her. So if you look at like when the heroes came out, when the game first started, I pretty much made Iris up until Ruby. So I have a lot of practice with Iris. They haven't changed too much about her, save for her tactical ability. It has had a few changes, but she was the first hero I got fully leveled up. She was the first one that I got the passive for. So Iris is pretty much like the OG hero for me, because I kind of played Skady a little bit, then I got Gloria, and then like almost the next game I got Iris, and I've been pretty much playing her ever since. I love support heroes, and I've been trying to kind of branch around to different heroes as the channel has grown and as I've been playing the game. So that's why she's not like the highest hero, even though I've played her the longest. But her gun is actually really good. I think it's a really good gun, especially for a healer. It's called the Energy Repeater, and unfortunately she doesn't have a shield. You can see here that at the top left corner she just has HP 5600, so no shield, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. She does okay without it. Obviously she's a support role, so you're not going to be running around getting a bunch of kills with her. That's not really what she's meant to be. So that's one thing that I would probably start off with, is that you should play her to her role, because that's where you're going to get the most use out of her. Her tactical ability: attach a healing drone to a teammate to heal nearby allies. Attach to self if no available ally is in range, which is actually a really good one for like your 1v1s and stuff like that. Like it can really turn the tide of a fight if you're already good with Iris and have good aim, and maybe the person you're fighting misses a few shots with Skady or something like that. So it does one-time healing is 1,000, and then healing over time is 70 or 700 per second. So that's pretty good. What a lot of people don't know is there's actually a damage boost to whoever the drone is attached to. So we'll show you guys that in a little bit, because you can attach it to yourself and get a damage boost. So that's really nice. Her ultimate is really the saving grace for her. I think if she didn't have this ultimate, she'd be pretty bad. The ultimate really can change a game. It can change a team fight. And honestly, a lot of the times can get you a win if they're not playing like two specific heroes that can counter the ultimate. So you deploy an enhanced healing drone to heal allies within its range. The healing over time is 2,800 per second, and it lasts for 8 seconds. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, that doesn't seem very long, but it's enough to turn a team fight, and I think that's really what you need. I think if it was longer, you'd have a lot of people saying it was busted, because it really would just make it impossible to kill anybody that's inside of it, because 2,800 per second is a lot. Now, when you first get her, you won't have her passive, but this is one of the passives that I would recommend, probably the highest. I think this might be one of the most useful passives in the game. KO'd opponents will drop health pickups that can be used by the team. This has a one-time healing effect of 1,400. So if you know that on the maps there are like big heal packs and then small heal packs, this is essentially a small heal pack, but it's portable. So whenever you get a kill or your teammates get a kill, then they will drop health packs. So that's really insane to even think about, because that means that if you attach your drone to somebody and they get a kill, it's just your whole team gets a kill if you have this passive. then you can attach your drone to somebody who's low health. They kill the opponent because you gave them the edge, and then they are, you know, they're safe and they don't have to worry about it. So we have auto fire on for her. I'll show you guys how fast she can kill a Victor, but you can see there that it drops a little health pack there, and they do kind of stack. You kind of saw that the one we'll show you. Yeah, Victor died. Okay, I thought he was gonna. We'll show you that when Victor kills the mark, it should drop one. It did not. Okay, well, anyway, so that is, if you see how fast the Piebot actually gives health to Victor, it still has that 350 and then that 700 every once in a while. Sometimes it's 240, and that is because of the interaction with the shield. So the big downside to Iris is her reload. That is her most vulnerable position. So if you're going to do anything with Iris and you want survivability, you need to always make sure you're behind cover or with a tank teammate. So she is very, very difficult to survive with when she's reloading, because if you use your Piebot, it interrupts their reload. So a lot of times you'll see players, they shoot, they reload, and then you get them down a little bit and they use the Piebot, right? And then they start to reload again, and then they use the Piebot, and they just keep delaying their reload. So the biggest tip I have for you guys if you want to survive with Iris is actually to never interrupt your reload, even if it means you're gonna die. I would take the damage. If they're damaging you, I would just make sure you can reload, because not only do you possibly have her ultimate, because it does come back pretty quickly, but you have the Piebot, and what's good about the Piebot, and this is probably one of the bigger tips for her Piebot, is that initial healing of 1400 is insanely huge, because that initial healing is honestly going to save a lot of your people from dying. Now, obviously, this is a Victor, so he's got a ton of health, and it's kind of inconsequential, but if it's somebody like Aletta or Johnny, you know, they only have like 4,000 health, you're essentially healing them for a fourth of their health, which is a pretty big deal, especially if it turns the fight. And that's the biggest thing about the Piebot, is it's not meant for getting back to full health. That's not what it's meant for. You shouldn't be, you know, you use it on this guy over and over and over again. What you should use it on is you should use it on the person that is in the fight the most. So let's say this guy is fighting this guy, and this guy is also fighting this guy, and he's like a sniper or something. You should be focusing on healing this guy. Obviously, I'm doing damage to him right now because there's not two friendly fire people. There's no teammates in here. But you can see that it drops this health pack, and that is the biggest thing. So he's fighting, they're both fighting this guy, right? Well, if this guy is really close up, you want to be able to turn the fight so that he can get the kill on this guy. And what happens is, if you use your Piebot, it heals that 1400 and keeps healing during the fight, and then he wins the fight, it drops this health pack, and then you're going to see a way to shift the momentum towards your team, because he's dead, right? And this guy, who was going to be super low if they managed to kill him, or he was probably going to die, he's going to be alive, and if he's a small hero like Aletta, he's going to be back to full health almost immediately. And even if he's a Victor, right, you have your 1400 plus the 2400 from when you get the kill, right? So you get the kill on Victor real quick. It's going to drop one of these, and that's a decent chunk of health too. So you're healing like 3/4 of your teammate's health, and if the fight goes on for a little bit, and he's able to deal damage and kill him, right, then he's going to have even more health, because the Piebot's going to have that lasting effect of, you know, the 350, the 240, the 700 when you're healing your teammates. So I'll kind of show you guys from the perspective of this Victor once he gets to like a super low health. So like right now, I should not be using the Piebot because he hasn't lost any health yet. So the Piebot will just automatically go to him if it's on me. So like it's healing both of us right now. You just can't see because I'm not taking damage. And that is the big thing about the Piebot, is that it does like a radius heal. So what you are trying to do is get that healing out. So you can see that he was gonna die to the mark, right? And then I used my healing bot, and he is essentially staying at the same health rate because of the Piebot, right? Not only that, but those that have the Piebot have that extra damage. That's what the little flame is by the damage numbers. You saw that, like 247 with a flame by it is more than you would normally get. So we'll show you right here. It's 224. So that's another 20 damage with that passive ability, and the fact that the person that has the Piebot does extra damage. So that's really huge. That's a big tip. And you really want to be careful how you use your Piebot. Again, if you're using it right here, it's like, yeah, I mean, it helps. But then your Piebot's sitting here and he's not losing health, and then you're not getting the use out of it. And I would say also, don't be afraid to put the Piebot on yourself, because it does have a radius. You can see, so the radius is kind of the same color as all of these lines right here, so it's a little hard to see. But that's the Piebot radius. So to see this wall, how it has that that bar right there, that's the radius of where the Piebot will reach. So if I had an ally right here at this wall, he's going to get healed by the Piebot, even though the Piebot is attached to me. He just won't get the initial healing that I have for like the 1,000, right? So you really need to keep that in mind. I would say what you should do is don't always put the Piebot on yourself. Put the Piebot on the teammate that needs it the most. So for instance, if you have a low health Osos right up there, right? But then you have a Victor over here, your Piebot needs to almost always be on the Victor, because the Osos is not even going to get into the fight unless Victor and you die. Then he will be worried about being run up on by a tank or something. And the Piebot, let's say I put it on Osos, right? He's over there. And then he gets flanked and dies. Well, that's kind of a waste of a Piebot. Whereas Victor and I are in the firing area here of where all these enemies are. So I would be very careful of who you put the Piebot on, and what you need to do is put it on somebody where the burst heal is really what gets it. So you get that burst heal on them instead of just, you know, you start the match and they say go and you put the Piebot on somebody. I just do that because I like to give them a little bit of health, and I think that it can eliminate the fact that some people die when they first peek right away. So that's just kind of as a courtesy. It's not necessarily something that needs to be done. So that's pretty much her tactical. The gun is really good. You guys need to know, right? A lot of people say her damage isn't very good, right? But let's put the Piebot on, and we're gonna get headshots. So 493 for a headshot, right? 493, 493, 493. Those are all 493s. He got melted, right? So we'll wait for the Piebot to go away, and then show you guys what happens if you don't hit those headshots and you don't have the Piebot boosting your damage or the boosted headshot damage. So it has like a little time limit of like how long it can be active. There we go. Alright. So, what is that? 224, right? 224, you're shooting at his feet. And then you go here, you put the Piebot on, you get some headshots, and you're at 493. That's close to 500 damage if you round up. So you're doing about 300 damage more every single shot. It's huge. It is huge. I almost think that if you get a couple of headshots, right, you can actually 1v1 a lot of heroes, especially heroes like Victor, who have shotguns and stuff like that. So what you need to do is use her survivability and her headshot damage multiplier combined with the damage multiplier of the Piebot to essentially wear them down as they are coming close to you. She is a mid-range hero. She can use her gun in the mid-range. I would say that's probably where it's best. Long range, it's not very good. She is an assist character, and that is how you should play her. If I have a bunch of Vincents right here, let's say I'm facing both of these Vincents, and then I have like a Fade or something right here. I should not be in here fighting these Vincents while Fade is shooting his cannonballs from back here. What I should be doing is I should be right here, put the Piebot on Fade, and he should be shooting and going in, and I should be following him. And then once he is in there and he rushes, I need to be shooting the other person after he rushes. My idea is that I need to kind of get the damage in on these guys so that it can turn the tide just enough for Fade to win all of his 1v1s with my help. So she is an assist character, and that is how you need to think of her. And so we'll talk about counters right after we talk about the ultimate. So, ultimate, super cool. You get health when you're in it. Obviously, I'm not losing health, but it's essentially every time it used that shockwave, you get that 2800 health. So, we'll let him shoot us a little bit here. We don't have our ultimate, but I can show you guys. There you go. Get that burst, heal, and in like 2 seconds, I'm back up to full. So, it's very useful. The ultimate is essentially almost universally for team fights. If you're gonna lose a 2v1 to this Victor and your Fade's gonna die, I would honestly just regroup with your other teammate. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I wouldn't waste your ult on one enemy unless it's like if you're on control and it's like a fort and he's on the point and you just killed their other two teammates and you know that you can turn the tide of the entire match if you take the point, then maybe. But for the most part, you need to reserve your ultimate for those team fights where you have 2 or 3 of your teammates in here. If you're just the only one in here or your ally is over there, then you need to not worry about the ultimate. And I do have one more tip for the ultimate here, is a lot of people don't know this, right? A lot of people, they'll just throw the ultimate at their feet. But this ultimate, if you go right here, this ultimate can be thrown pretty far.
It's okay. I'm right here.
So, look how far that went. A lot of people, when they're Iris, they'll be running to the fight, and they will not throw their ultimate into the fight. Because that's what you need to do, is you need to throw the ultimate into the fight. It doesn't help if you're trying to get to this pole, and you have your ult out, you throw your ult, and you put it like right here, then it's not being used to the fullest of your ability. The ultimate needs to be put at the feet of whoever is either A, the tankiest, or B, in the most trouble. And you can throw it from afar and then use your gun to support, because the ultimate honestly can change a team fight even if the Iris themselves is not inside of that ultimate. So really good tips and tricks for you guys. I think that's, for the most part, everything you need to know about her. Obviously jumping's pretty huge in general, not just for Iris, and a lot of the time she does jump into the fight. A lot of people will just jump in, but you can shoulder peek with Iris. A lot of people don't know that. It's not necessarily the best move, but like I said, the main goal of the Iris is to sit in this team fight, help her buddy that's right here, pop a heal bot on him, use him sort of as cover so the enemies aren't focusing on her, and use her damage to sway each team fight and each 1v1 in the favor. And then basically what that's going to do is stack all of those against you. And again, I mean, look how far that went. I wasn't even trying to go far. Like, I literally just looked up and I put it that far away. So that's honestly a huge tip if you want to get better with Iris, is you need to use the ultimate to save your team. So a few counters to her. Obviously, whenever she's reloading, if you see her reloading, you need to push her or do damage to her, because a lot of Irises, they start this reload and you push them and do damage, and they reflexively go to that Piebot, and then eventually they're sitting at 0 bullets. So I'm sitting here just reloading, and then popping the Piebot, and if you push them, it will basically get you free damage, because sure, they have the Piebot, but they're not doing any damage to you. So all you have to do is hit a couple extra headshots, and you can counter that Piebot relatively easily, especially if you isolate the Iris. Another sort of counter to her is in team fights you need to go for the Iris. I would say if you have a Victor and you have an Iris, and then you're playing like an Osas, you need to almost always immediately go for the Iris, because it's not worth your time to go for the Victor if the Iris is good, because she'll just keep the Victor alive. So go for the Iris in team fights. She should be the first one that you kill. And the counter for her ultimate, you guys are gonna hate me for this. The counter for her ultimate is literally just leave the area. Literally just leave the area. A lot of the times the team won't realize where the Iris ultimate ends, and they will just leave the ultimate and they'll fight over here even though the ultimate's over there. And they'll fight over here thinking, oh, the ultimate's down, I can't die. And they will leave it and not be in its safety. Anybody that you can push an enemy out of the ultimate, so like, let's say I'm playing Fade, and an Iris pops her ultimate, well, I use his tactical, and he like steamrolls her into this wall, boom. Even if she's not dead and she has the Piebot, she's not in the ultimate anymore, and you have removed her from her team. So that's a huge one. The ultimate has a lot of drawbacks. It only lasts 8 seconds. So if you can just wait 8 seconds, for the most part, it'll be a waste of an ultimate. Especially if your tank that is fighting the enemy team disengages. It's a waste of an ultimate, and it's honestly going to bum the team out, and their morale's going to go down, because it's like, oh, why'd the Iris use her ultimate? They didn't even start fighting in it, and it wouldn't even be her fault, but a lot of people will be like, oh, this Iris sucks because her ultimate wasn't useful. And that's honestly how a lot of people are about support. So you need to focus on not getting kills if you're playing Iris, and you need to exploit that if you're playing against an Iris, because she's going to be sitting in the back. So a lot of the time you'll see flankers come in and they'll try to take care of the best person on the team. What you should do is take care of the healer first, disengage, and then see how the team reacts to having their healer killed and how their healer is down, and they won't have that healing capability. A lot of Irises will also leave their team. That is your time to literally kill them. If they leave the team for even a split second, you should swarm them as fast as you can, because they are vulnerable. She is not very good at dealing with 1v1s. She is, especially with a lot of the other characters and how fast they can kill. Her gun does not do that much. I know I said it's really good when you get the headshots with the damage multiplier, but not every Iris is going to have that aim. Not every Iris is going to have the Piebot ready on them 24/7, because a lot of Irises will be trying to keep their team alive. I think the last counter that I even really have for you guys is Gatlin. Obviously she does a ton of damage, so if you can just sit there and damage trade with the Iris, you might actually win. The epitome of counters is Hualing and Osas, and the reason why is even if I have my ult down, if I get headshot by an Osas, it's too fast for me to have my ultimate heal me. If he hits a body shot, I'll survive. But if the Hualing or the Osas hit a headshot on an Iris, it does not matter what they have for Piebots or ultimates or anything like that, because it does too much damage for the Iris to heal. It's too much damage all at once. And so if they have an Iris or a Chemist, your best bet to counter that healer is going to be Osas or Hualing, because their damage is insane, and it's going to be pretty much impossible for them to counter you and still play Iris very good if you are playing Osas or Hualing and hitting your shots, because you're essentially going to one-shot them every time. So that's, as far as I can tell, the most tips, tricks, counters, all that kind of stuff. That's all I can really think of. She's pretty simple, but it takes a lot to be good at Iris, because you really have to think about your team. Now, when I first got the game, this is the skin that I went with. I actually got this skin. It was the first thing that I ever spent money on. And to be honest, it was really, really worth it, because she looks super cool in pink. I feel like it fits that that healing idea a lot better than the blue. And it was really cool. I really love like the way her hair looks. She was my favorite hero when I first got the game. And honestly, she might still be my favorite. Obviously, we need more support heroes, and Obviously, Iris isn't necessarily the strongest hero, but for me, she really fits my playstyle, and she's very strong, and she can really turn the tide in a fight. And I don't really get a lot of kills anyway, even if I play somebody that has a lot of damage potential. So for me, playing Iris is almost a no-brainer because I already play like this. And I know for a lot of people, it can be hard to get into that support mindset because essentially what's going to happen when we face off against these guys, I should basically have no kills. Like, honestly, there should be maybe a couple if I'm dealing damage. Yep, okay. So we're in trouble right now. They have Hualing and Hunter and Gatlin. So they have pretty much a full counter to Iris. So this is definitely going to be tough. If you're the Iris and they're countering you, right? So I just do this as a courtesy so that they know that their Iris is in it for them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of Irises won't use the Piebot effectively. And so I always make sure that I'm doing as much as I can, right? So I could have taken that kill. I could have got the Gatlin, right? But I didn't. I felt that it was more important to keep the Hunter alive. And so you saw the Gloria. She is now all the way over there. And unfortunately, we're just not going to worry about it. We're going to stick with the Hunter. The idea is to keep the Hunter alive because he deals more damage than us. And then if we can kind of get with the... Okay, he's kind of outrunning me right now. I am not as fast as he is, so... Okay, the Gloria... Right, so if I would have known the Gloria was there, I would have stayed on the Hunter and got the kill. But I was under the impression the Hunter was the only one there. So, right there you can see that I made a choice to sacrifice where I was and where I was at in the team fight to make sure that I was healing. So right here, there's 3 of them here. They have a Hunter, they have the Aletta who is not dead, she ran, and the Gloria who is dead. So I used my ultimate because it was a team fight and it was the best use of the ultimate here. And so what I do, right, is Hunter is the main target. He's the one who's been doing the best as far as like on the team. Now, I'm not saying this guy's bad, but if Hunter is the one dealing the most damage, alright, so we're not screwed by any means, but this is definitely a dangerous spot to be in. They've isolated me, and I'm dead. So, unfortunately, I chose to fight because I wanted to show you guys, like, that she actually does still have potential. I think I would have got the Aletta if the Gloria didn't show up. And then you also have to think, try to get close to the Hunter here. So you'll see that when he's playing, he is not relying on me to heal him. He's just playing. And that is how you should implement your Iris, is you need to be an afterthought. So basically, he should just be playing, and then, oh, the Iris helped me win that team fight. That's so nice. And then he just keeps playing. He shouldn't have to worry. Alright, we've got... Oh, they killed him before the ultimate came out. Alright. That is unfortunate. And you can see that the Gloria did not do her job, and that's why I'm not staying with her. So, when the other Gloria came towards us, right? Our Gloria, JJ, nothing against him, was not firing. Maybe he was reloading or something, right? He was not firing, and unfortunately it cost us our life because he did not use his ability of being on that flank to... Oh, dang. Okay, I am lagging a little bit. But there you go. I just killed that Aletta on my own. She dropped the health pack. So if I would have been a little bit faster, the problem is my phone does lag a little bit, but that's alright. So the goal here, probably gonna die to the Hualing, and a Hualing and a Sindri. Dang, okay. There we go. Gloria getting in here. Let's go. So as you can see, oh shoot, we're gonna die. Oh man. I wanted to talk to you guys about the health pack. So she got the kill on the Aletta, or I got the kill on the Aletta, or whatever, and that health pack was what we needed to... Oh, I thought she was gonna blossom. Okay, so I thought she was gonna blossom, and pretty much she could have killed the whole team. So I wanted to use our ultimate there to basically essentially make sure the team had the best chance of surviving. So when I'm playing this, you'll see that there's no way I'm going to get MVP, right? And the Glory got MVP, which is actually crazy. We'll see how many kills did she... Oh, she got 12 kills. Wow. So I only got 2 kills, right? And the idea is that you would rather have the Iris die than one of your buddies here, because Iris's damage is not... It's not something to scoff at. It's not very good, especially when you have other players who are a lot better at killing people than the Iris is. So unfortunately, it doesn't show you how much health you gave to your teammates, but if it did, you'd see that that would be the biggest number, is how much I have healed my teammates. And you can kind of tell because it said damage taken, and my damage taken was pretty high. But essentially what that means is that I was healing a lot of the damage that I was taking and was in the fight a lot more than I should be. So they did pretty good. They had a lot of counters for us, but I think that their counters for me made it so it was easier for my teammates to focus on dealing damage. So what happens is a lot of people will counter the Iris by killing her first, and that enables the other teammates on my team to deal damage instead of worrying about keeping me alive. So my whole thing is to keep them alive. So hopefully we get like a Jabali pick or something, like a tank, so I can really show you guys where Iris shines, because her gun does a decent amount of damage and it can really turn team fights really quick. I wish she had a second ultimate. I think that I'm not really sure what I would choose for the second ultimate. I'm kind of drawing a blank here, but we'll probably follow the Fade. Oh, it looks like he's a YouTuber as well, so that's really cool. Definitely going to keep this in here. Interested to see what they pick. Okay. So Hunter is kind of a counter. He's pretty strong. He's not as insane of a counter as Hua Ling or Osas. But the idea here is that, let's say they both flank, right? We're going to be close to the Fade because he is the tankiest of all of our people, and he doesn't have a shield either. He has like the personal shield on his health bar, but he does not have like Jabali can put up a shield and Fort can put up a shield, if that makes sense. So, and wait for the flankers to do some damage. And I don't know what he's doing. He's playing Fade, so alright, we're gonna help out the... Nice. Alright, so we helped out the Gloria there because she was the one in the fight. I know I said the Fade was the one we want to help out the most, but he wasn't fighting and the Gloria was. So that is one thing that kind of trumps everything else. Now, okay, I think is the Hunter... Alright, we'll get the Yaw real quick. We didn't help too much, but the idea is that we need to give them enough health, if you'll look at that. So normally that's a death sentence. Normally the Shell gets the kill. However, she did not put me up there, so I was able to heal our Fade here. So I'm trying to heal the Gloria real quick. And the idea is I need to put myself in a spot that is... Oh, is she ulting? Okay, she's ulting. I couldn't really hear if she was ulting there. Oh, she's using the second ult, that's why. Okay. So, as you can see, I'm reloading and I'm getting shot at by the Hunter, and I'm just gonna tough it out, honestly. We are lagging pretty bad. Oh, we got a Ruby now, too. Let's go. I love the Ruby pick. Love the Ruby pick. What is that? Oh, a Victor. Okay. So, it's really lagging right now, and we're trying our best to kind of stay by the team and heal them. And you'll see I've got 5 bullets in the magazine, so I'm going to take the opportunity to reload while I'm behind cover and while they push, because I'm going to try to change the flow of the game with my Piebot. This is pretty laggy, you guys. I'm really sorry. This is not what I want it to be. So, like, you'll see there that I got the kill, but not because she does a lot of damage or whatever, but because I'm just simply helping my team. And that is honestly what you should be doing. You should be next to your teammates. A lot of people will say, oh, if you're playing a tank, you should just do your thing. And if you're playing a support, you need to follow the tank. They shouldn't have to follow you. Alright, we're gonna ult here.
It's okay. I'm right
He may be
here.
able to kind of take us out of the ultimate. So you'll see there that I let myself die, essentially, instead of like retreating or anything like that, because we had two teammates in the vicinity of the ultimate, and I knew that they would take care of that Victor. So realistically, all these deaths should be me. All these deaths should be me, and I should use those deaths to turn the tide of the fights here. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the Ruby in time to save her if they're pushing her. It looks like they're not actually trying too hard to kill her, so you can prioritize targets when you're playing Iris. I would say, obviously, whoever they're shooting is who you should be shooting, but you do have the ability to prioritize targets. You saw that instead of going for the Gloria, I opted for the Christina because I felt like she was more of a threat to my Ruby. And that's how you need to think of this, like you're the last line of defense. You're protecting your teammates from dying. So right now, I need to die instead of her. We need to make sure the Ruby is surviving as long as possible because she is the one who's carrying this team. So we got the Gloria right hand peeking, and the idea here now, boom, distract her because she's thinking, oh, I got to take care of the healer so we can have a chance at winning. And my whole thought process is distract her long enough so the Fade can get in there and do what he needs to do. So really, 100% you should just be thinking of your team. You should never get MVP, never get all the kills. You need to be thinking about your team and how you can help them win. And that's really what it's about when you're playing Iris, because that is where she excels, is like the assist master. You'll see we had 9 assists. We had the most assists in the game. And if you think about it, let's say we evenly divide our kills and say that they assisted us with those 4 kills. Well, you're going to see that their assists would be lower and we would still have the same amount of assists. So that's what her role is. That's where she's best at. She does have a few counters, but honestly, if you're a good Iris and they are just kind of like a mediocre Osas or Hualing, it doesn't matter. She's really strong. Obviously, she is a different playstyle than Chemist entirely. And Chemist, I would say, is stronger because she has that flexibility. But overall, Iris is really, really good. And I wouldn't shy away from picking her if you aren't really used to playing support, because she's pretty easy to pick up. She's only got like 2 things she can do. You shoot, she has a long reload, and then her tactical has like a radius. So you can put it on anybody. But I told you in this video where you should put it and like how it's best to play her. But if you're just getting her, don't even worry about it. Just learn the character, and she's pretty easy to pick up. And like I said, I think she's the 3rd character you get. If you open no Rumble boxes, you go Skady, Gloria, Iris, and she's really fun to play. She's really cool, and I think she really offers a different flow to a T3 arena match. I think she has the potential to change the meta and change who is good. And I think that you guys should definitely pick her up. Even if you're not really a support main, just pick her up and try her, because she's really fun, and it's really a different experience to jump into a match of T3 and get like 1 kill and still be essentially the MVP and the one that was the reason your team won. So even though it doesn't give you MVP, even though it doesn't show how much you heal, it's pretty obvious from how we were playing in the last match that because I was playing Iris, we were able to win almost every team fight, even if their team had better comps, even if their team had better counters to the heroes or hero that we were playing or that our teammates were playing. So I think she's really fun. I love the support role. I was really excited to make this guide for you guys. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have any like tips, tricks, counters, all that. If you have any stuff that I missed, feel free to drop it in the comments, because I love having these conversations. I love talking to you guys about different heroes and how to play them, because even though I'm not the best at the game, I do know how to play the heroes pretty well, especially Iris. I'm loving the support class. I hope they add more. So comment down below what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and have a good one. Stay healthy.